already there. Godfrey, let's. I don't even know. How do you approach Croatia? Do you go for I don't know whether the coach is going to continue. What is Carlos Queiroz thinking about this Croatia game?
I think Carlos Queiroz will be Carlos Queiroz. Yeah, but we should stop expecting Carlos Queiroz to play attacking football. It won't happen. So
he will not surprise Croatia with a fast breaking Isahaku and Nyama on both wings.
Exactly. So that was the point I was going to make. There might be tweaks that allow the team to have a few more numbers in offensive areas, but he will still prefer to have a team that doesn't give away too much. In having conversations with some of the players and also Croatia was always going to be the problem of the team. Croatia was going to be the problem of the team, or is going to be the problem of the team. And reason being, they are boring. And Panama, here's the thing. Panama was always going to be the most difficult game to start with because we needed the points. So nerves would take place. We saw that. England was always going to be the game where the Ghanaians were not afraid because they were self-motivated for that. You have a lot of kids of our players born in London. You had the party issue, colonial master issue. It doesn't take a lot to work yourself up and get adrenaline. Right. What is there for Croatia? You understand?
So that's a dangerous game.
Yeah, exactly. So that makes them dangerous in the sense that their football is organized, but it is slow. It is very boring. They can bore you to sleep and score. And Ghana doesn't do well with that kind of opponent. An opponent who is technical. An opponent who doesn't look like he is trying too much, but still possesses enough technical ability to punish you when you least expect it. And that is what makes Croatia, for me, a very difficult game. I still expect Ghana to be faster than them in the offensive areas. I expect Ghana to perhaps push up higher. The low block, the killer low block we saw against England wouldn't make sense against this Croatia midfield. So Ghana would be slightly higher up. Now, if Ghana is slightly higher up, it means that we will get into their penalty box a lot more. So I'm not expecting too much of a deviation from what Carlos Queiroz does, but I expect him to try and hit Croatia a lot more consistently than we have seen with the last two games. I think we get to see how he finishes his games, particularly in the second half, more as a feature in the game against Croatia than normal. Yeah.
Which means he will see the possession to them, but play on the break and hope the pace of the...
Play on the break a lot more consistently. He will look to... He will not look at giving the ball away to Croatia. That might be a bit more dangerous than England because the type of passes England have are very different. Croatia have Luka Modric. He's 41-40, but still possesses the brain and technique to execute a killer pass better than 95% of players playing professional football. You don't want to give Luka Modric that kind of space. He will punish you. So I think Ghana will spend a lot of time also looking to keep Croatia on the back foot. But I expect there to be the defensive control that Carlos Queiroz relishes.
But definitely we will be younger and fitter than they, because I see a number of Perisic, I see the former Man City player
Kovacic.
I think they are much older. Some of their players are
yes, that's what I'm saying. They are older, slower, but still organized and experienced.
Interesting.
That is the issue. But I think we will try and beat them down with speed.
Edwin, were you surprised at the 1-0 they beat Panama? Because a lot of people felt Panama would be the whipping boys of the team, but Croatia struggled to beat them.
I think the match against Ghana has changed a lot of people's perceptions about Panama. They are not... they were always going to be the whipping boys in terms of the results, but in terms of performance, they were always going to put their hearts into it. They realized they were the underdogs and they needed to play at their best to have any chance of winning those games. So the result against Croatia didn't surprise me. I always felt that Croatia were a bit like Ghana, not as talented now as England are not as youthful now as Ghana, but they want to do everything they can to win. So once they get a goal, once they get a couple of goals and they feel that's enough for them to win, they stick to it and they get the victory. But as Godfrey was saying, they have good passes. England didn't take advantage of the fact that we might be vulnerable with long balls, so they didn't play a lot of it. They tried a few crosses, it didn't work. They stopped and moved into the wide areas, trying to get the players to actually go direct at the fullbacks, which didn't work as well. For Croatia, they don't mind playing the long game. They don't mind putting balls over the top, and they have players in their team who can make those passes stick. So it's important for our defense to be up to it aerially. In the aerial battle against England, we lost about 57% of the aerial balls. We can't afford to do that against Croatia, because even if we manage to get the first ball, it's the second ball that counts, and that's how they got one of the goals against England. The second ball, the striker was up to it and he just finished it. So we can't afford to go to sleep when the aerial balls start coming in, and that's going to be a huge danger. Also, I think it's important for us to crowd them out the midfield, just as we did against England. Maybe stick to the three midfielders instead of reverting to double pivot in midfield. Having three midfielders enables us to have at least one player who is free to either join the attack or sit back in defense and ensure there's a cover for the defense. So I think midfield is going to be key, especially in that game.
Interesting. So you think this will be our toughest game of the three?
I believe it will be our toughest game. As Godfrey said, the initial game against Panama, obviously there are a few jitters because it's our first game. Everyone expects us to win, but let's be honest, it's Panama. We have way better players than they do, way more quality, a better coach. Eventually, that quality was going to tell. Against England, you expected the players to be self-motivated, just as Godfrey said. It's England. A lot of players feel that they are the same quality, even better than some of the players who get a lot of attention because they play for the big sides in the Premier League and in the tough leagues around Europe. For Croatia, they always come into the competition as one of the dark horses, and they always prove themselves. But they are a tough side to read at the moment because of the fact that a lot of them are aging, but they have a young group who are coming in and also making their mark at several moments in the tournament. So it's going to be a difficult game because they also need the points to
progress,
to guarantee progression.
So are both teams going for the win?
Both teams are going to go for the win. We don't necessarily have to go for the win, but it's important that in a tournament where we've seen crazy score lines, we've seen underdogs pick up unexpected points, that we make sure of qualification as much as possible. I feel that in this game in particular, Queiroz is going to change up a bit, try and go for the early goal to ensure that they have a cushion before he sits back and ensures they get the points. Once they get an early goal and have something to defend, then qualification is almost guaranteed, and they can afford to take some risks after that.
Godfrey, we have 4 points. So should we just avoid defeat, get 5 points, or go for the win so that if Panama frustrates England, we even top the group?
I am all for qualifying from the group at this moment. First, second, third, let's qualify. Then we will deal with the knockout stages when we get there. People are talking about Portugal and whatnot. You let us get to the knockout stages. They will see something different. But for now, I am just thinking, let's qualify completely and guarantee that we have qualified. I think Ghana wins a very, 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 very difficult game against Croatia. But think about it. If Ghana wins, that's Ghana getting 7 points in a group that has England, that has Croatia. Do you know what that means? That's incredible, man.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. We can only hope, can't we?
We've never had 7 points in a World Cup group. I know, even 2010, it was 4 points.
Yes.
And then I think 2006 as well was 6 points. So for a team that people didn't rate, ranked 73rd, clearly things are looking very, very different.